How do you feel about the way Democratic leadership has performed in this second Trump era? Hakeem Jeffries, Chuck Schumer, those folks.
You know, I want to see people fighting. I want to see people, going nose to nose with some of these people. I absolutely love what I'm seeing with Gavin Newsome because Gavin Newsome is also showing everybody this is exactly the way Donald Trump has been. You clapped and loved it when Donald Trump was spewing this kind of garbage, but now that Gavin Newsome is doing it, that's just a bridge too far. No, look, I'm telling you right now, we need more people like Gavin Newsome to come out here and fight fire with fire. I'm sick and tired of people thinking that Democrats are weak. We're not weak, and we should prove that we're not weak. Go nose to nose with any one of these people. Look, I will work with anybody who has good ideas that will help the people. But make no mistake about it, I'm not going to sit there and let somebody just push me around, and I'm not going to sit there and be quiet when I see somebody spewing BS.
Yeah, we've never seen anything like this with the Republicans. I mean, we saw what they just did in Texas. They're gerrymandering 5 more Republican seats. Gavin Newsom is responding to that and saying, whatever you do, we're going to cancel out here. And I mean, Trump is just openly basically admitting that I'm going to rig this thing. I mean, right as we were coming on air here, he said something to that effect again, like, we got to ban the mail-in, but no more mail-in voting. We got to ban the mail-in voting. Here, I'll read it for you. Big win for the great state of Texas. And he talks about how Abbott did a good job here. And then he says, no more mail-in voting, no more voting machines. He said, at the end, he said something really chilling. He said, something like no more with this crooked game of politics.
He said, if we do these two things, we will pick up 100 more seats, and the crooked game of politics is over. That's
him admitting, like, I don't want elections anymore.
Yes.
I just want to take. And to your point, you got to fight fire with fire, because if you don't fight back, like, this is everything. This is the whole game.
Yeah, but But look. If you slap me, I'm not going to slap you back. I'm going to put a fist in your teeth. And you know what? That's what I'm saying. You know what? Don't just counter with 5 seats. Go ahead, go all the way. Make as many as you can, Gavin. Make as many as you can, New York. Make as many as you can, Illinois. If you want to play this game, let's play it to the hilt. Look, at the end of the day, I'd love nothing more to guarantee we're not just going to take back the House, but we're going to take back the House with the ability to where we can push and pass anything that we want. And that's what our focus needs to be. Because make no mistake about it, if we're 51-50, then it's always going to be a fight. But if we have a super majority, we can actually get these things done, and actually they will pass. You know, ending Citizens United. There's no reason why anybody in this country should know. Do you really want these corporations buying your elections? Look at what Elon Musk did. I'm going to say it. You know, Kamala Harris was winning by 10 points in 7 of the 8 battleground states the day before the election. And one, she was only winning by 2 points, which was Nevada. And then all of a sudden the next day, Trump sweeps everything. I'm still like, how did that happen? But once again, if all you're going to do is just accept it, then that's why the Democrats lose.
Yeah.
Fight back, you know.
Are you worried about election rigging for the midterms?
When it comes to,
I am. I'll say it.
When it comes to this regime, absolutely. We know that Donald Trump is going to cheat. He's going to do everything in his power to cheat. I think the only thing that could potentially help us is that he had a falling out with Elon Musk. But for all I know, they're going to become buddy-buddy again before the next election, and that wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah.
But, you know, nothing would surprise me, but that's why this is so important.
It seems like what he's doing, too. So first of all, they're doing all kinds of, trying to pressure states to get rid of mail-in balloting, the rigging of the districts, all of that sort of stuff. There's other things, executive orders he did earlier in the administration. But it also seems like he's setting up to just deny the results if they don't go well for him. Of course.
So and he also said it to Zelensky. He said something to Zelensky, which indicated
said, well, Zelensky, is still there because they don't have elections because they're at war.
Yeah.
And
they're being occupied by Russia. The eastern portion of the country is occupied.
Trump was like, if you're at war, you don't have to have elections. Interesting.
Little twinkle in his eye.
And make no mistake about it, bing, the light bulb popped up there. Look, nothing would surprise me with this regime. And at the end of the day, Donald Trump is doing this because Donald Trump knows that the moment that he is no longer relevant, he's going to be prosecuted. If we take back the House and if we take back the Senate, or even if we don't take back the Senate, when we pick up some seats, I believe that there will be some Republicans that are done with Donald Trump, and we could actually impeach him and have him removed. And the moment that happens, he's going to be in a world of hurt. The only reason why nobody is seeing the Epstein Files is because he's all over them. Everybody knows that.
Yeah.
So my thing is bring it out. Bring it. Somebody's got it. Come on, Elon. I'm sure you got it. Somebody's got it.
Yeah, he was saying.
And oh, by the way, you're going to tell 1,000 FBI agents to comb through the files to remove Donald Trump's name? Isn't that called tampering of evidence?
Yeah.
I would think so.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think that's part of what he's scared of if Democrats take back control, any kind of subpoena power, any kind of investigations, potential impeachment.
But shouldn't that be a litmus test for Democrats? We've talked about this, Crystal, that Elon, all the crimes he cut pediatric cancer research illegally. He cut Meals on Wheels.
Yeah.
All these things wildly illegal. He had no authority to do it whatsoever. Did it, got away with it. Shouldn't it be a litmus test for Democrats to stand up and say, he should be prosecuted for this?
Yes.
Kristi Noem, Stephen Miller, Trump, they should all be prosecuted for their endless crimes.
Yeah, and here you are. They act like they care about the people. What are you doing? You want to kill free lunches? I spent 4 years as an educator at the high school level. If it wasn't for those free lunches, a lot of those kids wouldn't get no food. You know, where I come from in Logan County, there's a hill behind the town of Logan. And I tell people in the summertime, when the kids get to sleep in late, they stay up all night playing their video games. Not those kids. Because if they don't get up at 6:30 and run down to the local middle school for that free breakfast and that bag of lunch, they don't eat today. And these are the people that are under attack from the Republican Party, and they don't realize it. It's like they don't understand that that's what these people are doing. You know, when you kill free lunches, when you cut SNAP benefits, you're hurting children out there. If we're going to require a child to spend 8 hours a day in a place where they're supposed to learn, shouldn't we feed them? And once again, a hungry child's not going to be able to focus on their studies. I watched young girls jumping over tables in a cafeteria because one of the cooking ladies walked out and put on a big metal tray of corn dogs. And I watched girls jump over tables to grab handfuls and stick them in their purse. And this was when I was new. And I looked at the guy and said, what am I watching? And he was like, yeah, they take it home. That's food for them tonight. And I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that. And now they're wanting to kill lunches for these kids. I mean, that's unacceptable.
Meanwhile, give another tax cut away to the rich.
Yeah, and they're 3 million in food stamp benefits. 3 million families are going to lose their food stamp benefits as well.
Yeah. And we're talking about people that are on the bottom. I mean, you're punching people in the nose that are the least of us. And it's the thing is that I'm so sick and tired of watching all these pastors and everybody coming together, putting their hands on Donald Trump. For what you do to the least of my brethren, you do unto me. So if you drop a bomb on a child, you're dropping a bomb on Jesus. Yeah. If you're removing the food capabilities for a child, you're removing the food capabilities for Jesus. Look, I'm not a super religious guy, but I do know what Matthew 25 is, and I do think that everybody should do their best to try to live a Matthew 25. And right now, we've got people that claim to be super religious, but they do everything against the teachings of Jesus Christ, and they need to be called out for that.
What makes you think, you said earlier that you think in the next term, Trump, maybe there'll be some Republicans who turn on him, maybe you could actually get a conviction in the Senate, get him removed. What do you think would lead to their eyes being opened?
The Epstein Files?
I think that the Epstein Files is something that I think that's you're not going to be able to stand. Once that comes out, you're not going to be able to stand. And look, here's the thing too. Look, if there's Democrats that are on that list, arrest them too. The Democrats are saying get everybody who is guilty of preying on these kids should go down for this. Democrat, Republican, I don't care. But that's the thing, is that, we're okay. If President Biden is on it, put him in jail. But he's not. But show the files. If those files did not have Donald Trump's name on them, they would have been released long time ago. But because he's all over them, 2 decades of partying around with this guy, and this guy was absolutely a horrible human being, and so is Donald Trump. But once again, they're going to do everything in their power to make sure that the people don't get to hear this, because they care more about holding on to power in Washington, D.C. than they do making people get held accountable, especially if some of those are some of those 814 billionaires that we keep dumping money towards.
Yeah.
Everybody.
You have a lot of Republicans in your district. Do you see any of them kind of waking up, asking questions, questioning past support?
MAGA is probably a bridge too far.
Yeah.
But I'm going to tell you, when we went to the first Where's Richard Hudson, there were Republicans and independents. And they come up to me and said, I like what you had to say. I'm going to back you. I'm going to support you. I mean, I had an event that was thrown for me not too long ago that was independent voters.
Nice.
Thrown by a person who ran as an independent. So I believe that, my message, the type of person that I am, I think resonates with a lot of these people. I don't sit quiet. I'd rather take a beating than bow down to you. And I think a lot of people appreciate that.
I think it's the strength that attracts a lot of people, the strength of your message, the fact that you're confident, you don't back down. And that's something that is just so rare among Democrats. And I think people are yearning for that void to be filled, and you're filling it.
Yeah.
I'm a real Democrat.
Right.
And I tell people, a real Democrat is an old school Democrat. I believe in unions. I think that if you have a job, it should be unionized.
Yep. And
I will stand on picket lines and throw down if I have to, because those are the important people. And once again, this regime wants to do away with unions completely because they don't like anybody to look at any boss and say, hey, we need safety on the job. We deserve to have better pay. There's so many people in this country that are working nonstop, and it's barely even making the ends meet, barely making them meet. And these are the people that are absolutely just on the verge of going under. And that's what's going to happen when you kill all these capabilities and you start cutting the capabilities from these people. A poor family that relies on SNAP, when you get rid of those SNAP benefits for that family, what are they going to do? Yeah. Because the truth is there is no plan for what are they going to do right now. But you're talking about, when you got a mother that will literally go without and will starve herself the last week of every month just so her children can get food in their stomachs. I mean, it's a wonderful mother, a mother that sacrifices for her kids, but this is the United States of America. I've been alive for almost 55 years, and every single day of that, I was always told that America's the greatest country ever. Because we can whip you? Because we can drop more bombs on you? But we don't do nothing for our people. We tax the hell out of the middle class. We don't do anything for these people. Right now, the middle class are carrying this country. The middle class have been carrying this country since Ronald Reagan said trickle-down economics. It's about time we turn this around and let's let the billionaires carry the United States of America for the next 50 to 60 years. Because if we do, make no mistake about it, we will finally make America great. But it's not going to get great under this regime.
Especially with kicking 17 million people off Medicaid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Richard, tell people where they can support your campaign.
You can go to ojeda4nc.com. We've got some really cool merch, but you can also donate to my Act Blue link. I do a nightly live called Ojeda Live. I try to do it every night at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time.
Definitely check that out, people.
Gotta check that out, guys.
And I say what I say. If you like what you hear here, you're going to like what you hear there.